Ever read a book that you just could not put down? You know, the kind that feels intense, unforgettable, and just completely grabs you? Well, what's the secret sauce behind a story like that? Today, we're diving into the blueprint for exactly that, powerful, dramatic storytelling.
So where are we getting all this from? Our guide today is a classic, the no-nonsense book, How to Write a Damn Good Novel by James N. Frey. This thing is a masterclass in the practical, hard-hitting techniques that help you hook a reader and, never let them go.
And Frey doesn't waste any time. He gets right to it with this quote. See, the goal isn't just to tell a story, it's to create drama, intensity. That's the magic ingredient, and that's exactly what we're going to break down.
All right, so what's the game plan? We're going to look at Frey's blueprint, which really it stands on three huge pillars. First, building characters you can't forget. Second, throwing them into relentless conflict. And third, tying it all together with one powerful idea called a premise.
Okay, this is the heart of it all. Seriously, think of these three pillars as the foundation, the steel frame that holds up any truly great novel. If you can get these right, you are well on your way.
First up, and you could argue it's the most important one, the characters. Frey is absolutely adamant about this. Before you have a plot, before you build a world, before anything happens, you have to know who your story is about. Everything, and I mean everything, starts and ends with them.
Frey has this really cool concept he calls homo fictus, Latin for fictional man. The idea is that characters in a novel aren't just regular people. No, they're bigger. They're heightened. Think of them as abstractions of humanity with the volume turned way up. They're more passionate, more extreme, designed to show the essence of a person, not all the boring, everyday details.
So, how do we build these larger-than-life characters? Frey gives us a three-dimensional model. The first dimension is the physiological. This is all about their body, age, health, how they look, all of it. And these aren't just random details. These physical facts shape how a character sees the world, and ultimately, who they become.
Okay, now we build on that with the second dimension, the sociological. This is all about their world, their family, their job, their social class, their politics. This is the soil their personality grows out of. It's the environment that forges their values, their biases, their entire worldview.
And when you combine those first two, you get the third dimension, the psychological. A character's mind, their fears, their secret ambitions, their guilt, it isn't random. It's a direct result of their body in the world they grew up in. You see? If you nail the first two, the mind just clicks into place. It feels real. Now here's the crucial part. These characters can't just be passive. They can't just sit around and let the story happen to them. No way! They have to be dynamic, active, and absolutely brimming with what Frey calls emotional firestorms. They have to want something, desperately. Love, revenge, freedom, whatever. That passion is the fuel that makes them act.
And what happens when a passionate person wants something really, really badly? Well, something always gets in their way. And that brings us to our second pillar, the engine that drives the whole story, conflict. Conflict is what puts your characters under pressure, and it's what reveals who they truly are.
Frey is crystal clear about this. He says the three greatest rules of dramatic writing are actually pretty simple. You want to know the first one? You're looking right at it. Conflict.
And what about the second greatest rule? Yeah, you're probably one step ahead of me. It's more conflict.
And the third? You got it. Conflict. That's the takeaway. Story is struggle. Without it, you've got nothing. It's that beautiful collision between what a character wants and what's stopping them. That's where all the drama lives.
But, okay, how do you keep the conflict from just fizzling out? Frey gives us this brilliant idea called the crucible. A crucible is basically a container, it's a bond or a situation that traps your characters together and makes it impossible for them to just walk away when things get tough.
So what does a crucible actually look like? Well, it could be anything. It could be a marriage that's falling apart, a prison cell two enemies have to share, a lifeboat adrift at sea, or something less physical, like a family duty that you just can't escape. Any situation that forces the characters to face the heat, that's your crucible.
But listen, the most powerful, most gut-wrenching conflict isn't just about what's happening on the outside. It's about what's happening on the inside. True drama is when a character is, as Frey puts it, impaled on the horns of a dilemma. They're torn between two things they want or need equally: love versus duty, ambition versus morality. That's the good stuff.
Okay, so you've got a passionate character. You've locked them in relentless conflict. Now what? How do you make it all mean something? That brings us to our third and final pillar, unifying the entire story with one single, powerful idea that Frey calls the premise.
It really all boils down to one question. What is that secret formula that gives a story its focus, its purpose, its soul? And here it is. It's this simple. A premise is basically a statement that says, a specific kind of character, when faced with a specific kind of conflict, will arrive at a specific conclusion. That's it. It's the so what of your story. It's the one single point that your entire novel is built to prove.
Let's make this real with some classic examples. Take The Godfather. Character, a reluctant son. Conflict, must save his family. The conclusion the story proves? That family loyalty leads to a life of crime. Or Madame Bovary. Character, a romantic woman. Conflict, stuck in a dull marriage. Conclusion, illicit love leads to death. See how it works? The premise is the logical, almost inevitable outcome of the character and their struggle.
So, let's put the whole blueprint together one last time. It's a three-step process. 1. You create a compelling, passionate character. 2. You plunge them into relentless conflict. And 3. Through that struggle, you prove a single powerful premise. Character plus conflict equals conclusion.
And that really leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? The premise is the invisible force that gives every single scene, every character, every line of dialogue its meaning. It's the answer to the ultimate question, why does this story even matter? So, if you were to write a damn good novel, what point will yours prove?